What's going on, guys? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the idea of James Gunn possibly coming to the DCEU. Before we jump into it, I know there are a lot of people out there that are pro or anti James Gunn right now, and I just want to let you know in this video, I'm going to be covering all the news surrounding the idea of James Gunn coming to the DCEU. So whether you love him or hate him, I'm just giving you the facts here, people. Getting right into it, news has dropped that Disney is not going to rehire James Gunn to direct Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3. For the past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of rumbling behind the scenes that Disney might actually rehire James Gunn to direct the movie because the whole cast was very outspoken about losing James Gunn as the director, specifically Dave Bautista, who went as far as saying that if Disney doesn't use his script, he does not want to be in this movie. He wants to be recast. He wants to be fired. He was just not going to be a part of it because he believed in James Gunn so much and he respected him so much that if Disney wasn't going to have him be the director or use his script, Dave Bautista wanted out. So with the support of the cast and the legion of fans that love James Gunn, there was a lot of people saying that Disney might be rethinking their decision to bring back James Gunn to direct this movie, but unfortunately that is not going to happen. But there is still a possibility that they are going to use his script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I personally don't know how that's going to be. I mean, he wrote it, that's cool. Doesn't mean it's going to feel like the other two Guardians of the Galaxy movies because James Gunn won't be directing. My biggest example to let you guys know how that is go watch the first Ant-Man where they used the script by Edgar Wright, but he didn't direct the movie. It really didn't feel like an Edgar Wright film. So there's all that information, and from my understanding with the situation, since James Gunn is not going to direct Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, he's free to take on other projects, and that's where the DCEU stuff comes in. Now, the source of this information comes from The Hollywood Reporter, a place I respect a lot. It doesn't feel like all the other comic book websites just throw stuff at your face, and plus a lot of the comic book websites out there steal all of their information from The Hollywood Reporter. Anyways, THR reports that James Gunn is in very high demand by other studios. One senior executive at a rival studio said, "I'd work with James Gunn in a heartbeat." THR does say that the executive wanted to remain anonymous because Gunn is not permitted to entertain other offers while his negotiations to exit Disney is ongoing. Now that's a huge thing right there. That's a reason why you haven't seen anybody come to James Gunn with offers, is because as long as he's still under contract with Disney technically, which might be done already since they said he's not going to be working on the movie, nobody can come bring him anything. So they can't just go throw, you know, Batman or Green Lantern or whatever on his desk because he's officially not free. He's not on the free markets, basically. Speaking of that, THR also says that another studio executive said, "I've been advised that we can't bring anything to him until the Disney matter is 100% resolved." I know there are still some people out there thinking nobody's going to touch James Gunn because of his comments, but this comes from another studio executive. Most people feel his comments were coming out of his brand of comedy at the time he made them. That executive also said having an inappropriate sense of humor shouldn't be a crime. So it seems other studios that are not Disney definitely want to work with James Gunn because let's be real here, they just care about money in the end, and he's made 2 movies for Disney that have grossed over $1 billion. And when you can take characters that not a lot of people have heard of before and make billion-dollar movies, yeah, you're definitely going to be hot on the market. There's the gist of the interview from The Hollywood Reporter, but I do want to go back to the "I would work with him in a heartbeat" comment from a rival studio. Now, if you guys don't know what the word rival is, it's basically that's basically a rival. In all seriousness, there's not that many rivals to Disney. They pretty much buy out everybody, and the only other company that could stand up to Disney is WB, who owns DC, which is the rival to Marvel Studios, which is owned by Disney. So if my logic is true, you can highly expect that WB/DC is going to make an offer to James Gunn about directing a superhero movie. The biggest question is, what superhero movie is that going to be? Everybody I've seen on the internet automatically goes to the Green Lantern. They're like, that's a no-brainer. He just made 2 space movies in Guardians of the Galaxy. Green Lanterns deal with everything in space, so it just seems like bada bing, bada boom, perfect fit together, right? And I'm not going to argue against that because a James Gunn Green Lantern movie might be pretty awesome if it's not going to be super comedic And I don't think it will be, because WB is going to kind of let him do more than Disney would. Disney needs to sell toys, they need to sell merchandise, and they just want things to be funny and laughable for everybody. So James Gunn might not have to do so many jokes in his movies, but again, in a Green Lantern movie, if you're having Hal Jordan, the dude's never really serious, so it might work out perfectly. Since we're talking about jokes in movies and James Gunn, I know a lot of people are probably scared, like, oh man, he's gonna bring a Marvel script to a DC universe. That's not gonna work out. I really wouldn't worry about that too much, because if you've only seen Guardians of the Galaxy from James Gunn, go watch some of his other movies, specifically Super. I thought Super was amazing. Go watch his other movies. They're pretty freaking violent and dark. Speaking of dark, that might be one of the movies I think James Gunn would be perfect for. Justice League Dark. Now, if you've been following every DCEU rumor like I have for the longest time, you know that there was supposed to be a Justice League Dark movie by Guillermo del Toro a long time ago, and it just never happened. When that fell through, WB brought on Edge of Tomorrow director Doug Liman to do Justice League Dark, and I thought that was going to be really awesome. He seemed pretty hyped about it, and that fell through. So right now, Justice League Dark is pretty much dead in the water, but if you have that franchise and you want to bring it to the big screen, who better than James Gunn? Seriously, James Gunn has shown us that he can bring random characters together and make a really good movie, and Justice League Dark has a bunch of weird characters in their lineup. The rumored lineup for the movie was going to be Constantine, Zatanna, Deadman, Etrigan the Demon, and Swamp Thing. That's a pretty odd lineup to bring to the big screen. I mean, if you're not somebody that reads comics, you're just going to be curious on why all these random characters are working together. So again, like I said, James Gunn has brought random characters together and made them successful, so this is definitely a property that he could pick up and possibly take off with. Just for funsies, let's act like Justice League Dark and Green Lanterns already have directors, and James Gunn won't be able to work on those. Although if you saw my last video about Tom Cruise being a Green Lantern, the director for that might already be in the eyes of WB. Sticking with what James Gunn does best and brings random characters together and makes them a team, why not give him something like Doom Patrol? Look, I know what you're gonna say, they're making a Doom Patrol TV show, but hear me out. Not everybody's gonna subscribe to the DCU network, so why not give them a version of the Doom Patrol? Because they're more than likely to spend $12 on a movie than they are to subscribe to the service and possibly forget to make their payment and then just constantly get charged for that service per month. Netflix does it to me all the time. Speaking of the Doom Patrol show, let me just read you the synopsis for the show and imagine it in a movie form. Doom Patrol is the reimagining of one of DC's most beloved group of outcast superheroes. Robot Man, Negative Man, Elastigirl, and Crazy Jane, led by a modern-day mad scientist, Dr. Niles Calder, the Chief. The Doom Patrol's members each suffered horrible accidents that gave them superhuman abilities, but also left them scarred and disfigured. Traumatized and downtrodden, the team found purpose through the Chief, who brought them together to investigate the weirdest phenomenon in existence, and to protect the Earth from what they find. Part support group, part superhero team, the Doom Patrol is a band of superhero freaks who fight for a world that wants nothing to do with them. And I'll end it there because the rest of the synopsis is pretty much tying into the Titans show, so that doesn't really matter. But does that not sound like a solid movie? A group of outcast superheroes that nobody wants anything to do with? That is perfect for James Gunn, especially with everything he just went through. I mean, he just went through his reputation being dragged through the mud. He could easily incorporate those feelings of that into this movie, and it would just make it 10 times better. Also, much like the Guardians of the Galaxy, not a lot of people know about the Doom Patrol, so there's not going to be these huge expectations like a Wonder Woman, a Superman, or a Batman movie. He can kind of have free reign to be very creative and just make an awesome movie. So there's that pitch, but there was one more movie that was rumored a long time ago when freaking DC was just handing out movies like candy, and that was Booster Gold. Not sure about you guys, but Booster Gold would be somewhat of a comedy kind of movie, and I think that would be pretty awesome. There was a rumor that Greg Berlanti, the guy that's in charge of the Arrowverse, was writing a Booster Gold movie and was looking to direct it himself, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, WB would have the last say there. But, I mean, if they were to bring in, say, James Gunn for Booster Gold, more than likely that movie would get made, opposed to Berlanti jumping into the director's seat. There was also rumors that the Booster Gold movie would be like a buddy cop kind of movie, kind of like I said with the Green Lanterns in the other video, but it would have Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle and Booster Gold have a comic book history together. You add in time travel and crazy sciencey stuff, and that movie's just gonna be awesome. Like, it doesn't need to be a super serious movie. It can be another lighthearted DC movie out there, and I think that would be something really cool for James Gunn to be a part of. The only thing I would not, or the only reason why I should say I wouldn't want this movie is because if you're gonna do that, they're probably gonna use the Ted Kord Blue Beetle, and I'd prefer to have the Jaime Ramirez Blue Beetle. I'm not too sure that a Booster Gold with a young Blue Beetle would really work, unless Ted Kord is involved somehow. Maybe he dies at the start of the movie, and then this Blue Beetle just tags along with Booster Gold, and it's kind of like them forming a relationship together. Booster Gold's like, you're not Ted Kord, and there's just all that kind of just friction between them, and then of course, they grow to be friends and save the world. Could be something like that. I don't know. I just want a Jaime Ramirez Blue Beetle because, you know, it'd be kind of cool, but maybe just, you know, include him with the Teen Titans movie or something. Just give me Blue Beetle, Jaime Ramirez. And that's pretty much all the information I got for you guys. What is your thoughts on James Gunn possibly coming to the DCEU? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What movie do you think he should take over if he does? Let me know in the comment sections down below. And guys and gals, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button because why not share this video with your loved ones and your friends. As always, I'm your host, JUICEfromtheBOX. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I have a daily dose of juice, see you guys next time. Bye!